I can, I will, the language of success. Welcome to another in the series of Ilene Meckley tapes designed to develop your skills and provide you with the tools to have an I can, I will attitude that will lead to your reaching maximum effectiveness. Ilene, how did you come up with the name for this tape? I can, I will, the language of success.
Actually, my father, the founder of the Witness Protection Program, wrote a book called WITSEC, Inside the Federal Witness Protection Program. When I received the book and opened it up, there was a quote that I think describes accurately what I teach. It said, "Start by doing what is necessary, then what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible," by St. Francis of Assisi. I realized we teach children to share at a very young age, yet we seem to think it's impossible for us to share what we do and how it could benefit others. Yet sharing is something everyone should do. So then it becomes necessary to learn how to do it in the right way. That is what my goal is in this tape. Once we have learned the necessary skills and language, we begin to see more things in our lives as possible. Suddenly, we are doing what we previously considered impossible, which is talking to strangers, not prejudging, extending the same opportunity to everyone, which is the true key to taking your business to new levels way beyond your dreams. Also, I have come to realize that too many of us are kept from being successful by what we tell ourselves and others about the success or lack of it in our business. Not only is there a language that accompanies success in this business, but there's a positive attitude that one must have to achieve their goals. I want people to start thinking, I can instead of I can't. I will do it instead of just wanting it. In doing so, it is my goal to help people to think in these more positive, successful ways throughout their daily lives, not only in the lives of their businesses, but in their families and their personal lives. It is my true belief that we are blessed to be in a profession where we can positively grow as individuals while being models to the people around us. Together, with a little practice, I believe you can and will be the successful person you want to be.
Ilene, many people have told you that they fear approaching strangers about their business opportunity. I know that you have a different way of thinking about that feeling they call fear. In fact, you describe it as being uncomfortable and therefore more easily overcome. Can you describe a situation you have been in that could illustrate this difference?
I recently had a wonderful trip to Panama. When preparing for my trip, I was quite apprehensive about not knowing Spanish. Now I am more determined than ever to learn Spanish. I realized how being uncomfortable is sometimes a feeling you need to experience in order to have the desire to do something new. You see, I found myself feeling very uncomfortable as I would attempt to say a word or two in Spanish to the Panamanians I met. I didn't like the feeling at all. I realized, though, after several attempts to say a word or two, that people were responding to me in such a positive way. They liked the fact that I was attempting to speak their language, instead of my just thinking about my speaking the language. Trying is a word that we should never use, because it tends to give us an excuse or permission to fail. You either do something or you don't. Do you try to learn to play the piano? I believe that when you learn your first scale, you are playing the piano. Do you try to learn to drive, or are you driving the minute you're behind the wheel with your foot on the gas pedal? The moment we put actions together with our words is the moment we begin to really do something. As I travel doing my seminars, there's not a day that goes by where I don't have the opportunity to use a few words of Spanish. Last year, I would listen to others speak Spanish, and I wish I could do it too. This year, I'm proud to say that there has never been a time when someone is speaking Spanish that I don't say a word or two, even if it is just, "Gracias, mi amigo." And you know what? It feels great. I have to tell you, even when someone might have to correct a word or my pronunciation, I still feel good. Why? Because I'm determined to learn, and the only way I can do it is to have people who care enough to help me learn. I have people to help me practice the words in order to become better at it and learn more. This is where being willing to be uncomfortable for a while will pay off by becoming a lot more comfortable speaking Spanish. I have also realized that there's a difference in speaking a language and in being fluent in that language. If I have a fear that I won't sound fluent, then I will never begin the process of practicing. Fertilizing, That's making the soil richer. It's like making a full-service contact to be sure the person you talk to could also be enriched from all the services that you offer. This is such an important step in the growing process. This is also a step that can be less than pleasant in the gardening process. We still do it because we know it is important. We would never leave that step out if we want a successful garden. Planting the seeds. We know that some will grow heartily, some will sprout and then die. And some seedlings, they'll never make an appearance. We know we have to plant lots of seeds to have a full, beautiful garden. This is the same philosophy needed for our business garden. Now expect those no's, accept them, and respect them, just like you would when you were planting your seedlings. Focus on the plants that do make the garden worthwhile to work for. Watering. This is the most important step to be sure the plants have what they need. Are you watering your business? Are you making 5 to 10 contacts each day, knowing that the water will make your business grow? Remember, watering in the form of sprinkling is not beneficial to your plants. Just like sprinkling your calls throughout the week is not beneficial to your business, they need to be completed every day. In a nursery, there are so many types of plants to choose from, just as in your business. There are so many places to meet people. To encourage you to do some prospecting and help your garden grow, I want you to believe that you can and you will prospect to ensure your business growth. I can and I will grow my business by taking the time to care for it.
Ilene, on your other tapes and in your book, you often talk about having 3 P's in your business that led to your success. They are purpose, passion, and plan. Let's talk a little bit more about that planning stage. Many people in a home-based business have trouble prioritizing the important parts of their business and are controlled by all of the things they feel must be accomplished. Can you give us your plan for success and tips to prioritize?
I really believe the key to success is being sure that every day you make a plan so that you can feel you will be able to accomplish everything you would like to, personally and professionally. Structured flexibility. That's what leads to a very happy family and a successful business. I never claim to be the most organized, but I always have systems in place which keep me on track. Here are some suggestions for systems to help you with all the things you need to do for a successful business. Determine how many shows you would like to do each week. Circle the days on the calendar where you plan to work. Just think, if you did 3 shows a week, spending 3 hours a show, and doing that 4 weeks a month, that would equal just 36 hours, less than one traditional work week. If you commit to just 2 shows a week, that would end up being 8 shows a month. At 3 hours an event, that's only 24 hours that you're spending away from your friends and family to work on your business. That could be the commuting time for most people. Make 5 5-minute full-service contacts daily. These contacts will lead to bookings, new recruits, and orders. You will not be making any more additional calls for that. Every call should always be a full-service call. Get in the habit of inviting people to join you or asking about hosting anytime you're talking to them about your company. If you only call people when you need to fill your calendar, then you are thinking of what you need. When you make calls for the purpose of sharing, you are truly caring about others. Plan some time during a particular morning or afternoon each week where your focus could be hostess coaching. The key to success is that with structured flexibility, you can choose when you will do business activities based on your schedule that day or that week. However, be very careful not to flex yourself right out of business. Remember, flexibility is a choice as to when to work, not if you're going to work. Decide that it's important to plan a certain day of each week where you will spend 20 to 30 minutes doing things that are important for you to do for the home office. Do you have new applications for new consultants to process and mail in? Do you have forms to be sent in for other important matters? Plan a few minutes on a certain day for setting goals and evaluating your past week. Ask yourself, as the boss, should I be giving myself a raise today based on my work performance? Or do I need to call myself into the office to talk about what I did not do that I should be doing? Plan a special night each month where you spend time making hostess packs and recruiting packs. Rent a movie, get a video, invite people to help you. There are people who love to help, and this can be a fun way for them to be helpful. Plan when you would like to process orders. Don't let anything you need to do for your business control you. Decide when you want to get them processed. Plan time to attend your national convention, leadership events, local trainings, and other types of seminars. I really believe in Tony Robbins' philosophy of Kanai. CANEI. Constant and never-ending improvement. Can you see how you will be eager to share your business with everyone, knowing that you're doing it alongside family and activities? The key, again, is to plan when you will make the contacts. Remember to have structured flexibility. You always have the choice as the boss when to work, but you cannot decide that you're not going to work. Then that's not really a business.
Ilene, do you have any specific suggestions for phone time as fun time?
Absolutely. I believe children really enjoy painting. You can save old watercolor brushes. When you're ready to make a call, put your under 3-year-old in a high chair and give them a page from a coloring book and let them paint with water. You can also use the high chair for 3 or 4-year-olds as well for crafts or finger painting while you're on the phone. Save butcher paper from packages you receive and use it to let your little ones finger paint safely without decorating the whole house. Play-Doh is also a good activity for the high chair. Just set them up and make your call. You may even get 2 contacts out of it. Put last season's catalogs, old order forms, a child-appropriate calculator, an old portable phone, and a pencil in a box. Pull it out when you want to make phone calls and let your child do their work while you do yours. Tape a favorite story, or better yet, have a grandparent tape one that your child can listen to while you're on the phone. Make sure there's a bell or other sound so that your child knows when to turn the page. Declare Bubble Day at your house. Put down a drop cloth and allow your children to blow bubbles while you make a contact. Have your child create wrapping paper. Buy plain white wrapping paper or again use butcher paper and let your children sponge paint on the floor on a drop cloth with washable paint. I have actually heard some rumors out there that there are moms and dads locking themselves in pantries or in the bathroom to make the calls. I was thinking about this one day and I thought to myself, if I was a 3-year-old and I had a mom in the closet, I would be banging on the door to get her out too. But if she was right next to me and I knew that in just a few minutes she would tell me how great I was and how she wanted to spend some time with me, I would be eager to see her get on the phone because I knew what was coming next. I will have a successful family and a successful business too, at the same time.
Ilene, let's be realistic. Everyone has days when the kids are sick, or when they're handed a big project to do, or some other unexpected event occurs. How can they continue to feel successful as life's changing events happen around them?
I believe the key to success is that plan I referred to earlier, so that each day you can look back and say, wow, I do have it all when I have a home-based business. Having that feeling makes it so much easier to want to share with others about your business. You will feel, I want to be sure everyone can at least know there's an opportunity. You'll be okay if they're not interested because you will feel at least I offered and shared about a great thing. It is all about sharing and then letting people make their own decision. We never need to convince people because there are plenty of people out there who will make the choice that direct sales in your company is for them. Our job is to provide them information to help them in their decision-making process. If it is difficult for you to approach people, are you expecting of yourself that you should be out there developing skills to help you become more comfortable? Again, the only way to become comfortable is to accept that you will have uncomfortable feelings from the lack of experience and practice. But once you have that experience and practice, that's when you'll feel comfortable. When you really begin to act as your own boss, that is when you can have the best of both worlds. You have a career with lots of choices about when you work. But again, you have to keep in mind, having a business does not ever mean that it's a choice as to if you will work. When you make good choices, you can also reward yourself at any time for a job well done. As the boss, you get to make all the decisions and are responsible for successes and the lack of them as well. I will have high expectations of myself as a boss.
Ilene, a good boss is a leader. And since we're talking about being a boss, let's talk a little bit about leadership. That too requires balance. How do you continue to be there for your own customers while managing a team and at the same time needing to develop your own business?
I believe that the best way to lead is to lead by example. It also makes it much easier to have expectations of others when you have expectations of yourself, and you believe that what you're expecting can be done. If you have an expectation of yourself to make 5 to 10 contacts a day, because you know that that's what leads to success in your business, then you will be teaching that to others too. If you believe that your calendar should have 8 to 12 events on it, and that is how to build a successful business, then you will let others know that that's a good goal to have as well for their business. I believe the best way to teach is hands-on. Invite your team member to listen to your customer service calls, or perhaps your hostess coaching calls. Take them out on a prospecting adventure and show them how it's done. Also, be sure that you're not spending a lot of time enabling your team players. When team players start to whine, ask if they would like you to give them some suggestions on how they can continue to grow their business at a challenging or hectic time in their life. You can only help someone if they want help in working alongside their family and other activities. If someone says, "I can't do this," ask them if they would like to learn how they can. Doing everything it takes to build your own business is the best way to help your growing team. Remember, people love the game. Follow the leader. Be sure you do the activities necessary for business growth. People will then see what it takes for success, and then they can follow. I can and I will be an effective leader by doing everything it takes to build my business, and I will teach others to do the same.
Ilene, you referred to the activity of leading others as coaching. Tell us some of your thoughts about what being a successful coach means.
Being a coach, a leader, is a very rewarding position to be in. However, it can be frustrating at times when you're coaching and helping someone who is really not interested in being helped. I feel it is very important as a coach to be able to help your players identify the positions they want to play, and then to coach them to that position. Many times we feel that there are players who have so much potential and we just want them to see it and realize they can be doing more than they're doing. We tend to think they could be so successful, and it can frustrate us they are not doing more to be successful. My philosophy is that it does not matter how much potential we have. What matters is what we are doing when it comes to developing our potential. That always involves some form of work, practicing, learning, creating experiences to develop our potential. Would you agree you can have the potential to become a great parent, great piano player, professional sports figure, or successful in direct sales? The key to determining what will happen is what you do to make it happen. It again involves choices that we make. Are we expecting people or ourselves to be successful before we find out if we're ready to do what it takes to be successful? It takes more than having potential. It takes the desire to use and develop the potential to become successful at anything.
So what kinds of things would you ask a person so that they can be successfully coached?
First, it is important to determine if your player wants to be coached. You can be the best coach in the world, but if your player doesn't want to show up at practice, then you can't coach them. It's also important to find out if they have hesitations due to fear or a choice they have made. For example, if they are hesitating to pick up the phone, ask them, is it out of choice or fear? If it is a choice, we have to respect that. If it is a fear, we can show them how to overcome it. And helping them determining a need for their business to fill, start by asking them the following questions. What would you like to see your business do for you and your family in the next month, 6 months, a year? What personal growth would you like to experience with this business? What would you like to accomplish every day? And then it's important to help fit their business alongside of it. Here is an I can, I will statement to remember. I can and I will do things that make me uncomfortable, knowing that I am gaining experience to become comfortable.
Ilene, many people are uncomfortable with picking up their telephone. To them, it's like lifting a 2,000-pound weight. How do you make that phone feel lighter?
First of all, in every profession, people experience uncomfortable feelings in becoming familiar with their new roles. Can you imagine a surgeon performing his first operation? Ask yourself, what is there really to fear when sharing with others? If the focus of your phone call is customer service, then caring about others will come across to the person you are talking to. Having fear implies you are more focused on yourself and how you will feel during the process, instead of your goal being how you could be helping someone else. If you're really thinking about other people, you won't even be thinking about how heavy that phone feels. The only way to feel better about picking up the phone is to decide you want to and will become comfortable. It is important to realize that the only way to feel comfortable with a new skill is just to put yourself in situations to practice that new skill. What better way to practice than helping others stay informed about your company? Focus on helping others and let the practice help you to feel successful. Remember, too, that if the phone is a challenge and talking to people you do not know is uncomfortable, the only way you will ever overcome the challenge is to work at it. You will certainly feel comfortable after doing something 5 times a day for even just 1 week. Please do not decide that because sharing is difficult, it is a reason not to do it. We would never allow our children off the hook from sharing. Then do the full service call that I always recommend, and you can find it actually on my website, www.ilenemeckley.com. Remember that every time you share, you are 100% successful, no matter what the other person's response is. I will feel successful every time I share.
Ilene, I understand that you feel it is very important to set a goal to talk to new people every day about your business. Why do you feel it's so important?
I have met many people who plan to start a business based on their friends and family. They are uncomfortable talking to people they do not know. They decide to build a business based only on the people they're comfortable talking to. When you make that decision, you are placing a very heavy burden on friends and family. Basically, you're saying to people that you know, I'm depending on you to be the source of my income. That is why the asking and sharing could feel pushy with friends and family. You are hoping they will say yes, so that you get to experience business success, instead of sharing just to see if they'd like to take advantage of what you have to offer. You suddenly are dependent on them for what happens in your business. I really want to remind everyone that we should share with people we know as well as people we are just meeting. We want to be there to help people only if they want our help. Deciding everyone should need our services, that's pretty pushy. I believe there's another reason to share with people you do not know. In many high schools, students are now required to do community service work before graduating. That is an indication of how important it is for us to teach young people to reach out and help others. It is important to help people not just in your own family or circle of friends, but to include others too. Do you feel you have something that can help others? Then decide, I can reach out to others. I will share with people I don't know. Many people could be looking for what you have to offer. The only way you will find out is to just ask. You can decide to focus on others and forget about your own feelings in order to be there for others. I can, and I will, talk to new people and share every day.
Ilene, many people have said one of your extraordinary strengths is painting pictures. I understand that you feel growing a business is very similar to growing a garden. Paint for us, using your language of success, why growing a garden and a business can be similar.
Businesses are so much like planting a garden. We have to visualize what we'd like our garden to look like. Then we have to plant the seeds. We have to water, mulch, and fertilize. We know some plants will grow easily, and some plants require a lot of care. For example, orchids can be very labor-intensive, yet the results are worth it. To carry the analogy further, here are some tips for your business garden. Getting the soil ready. It is important that the soil be ready to receive the plants. In a business garden, that means working at planning your day, just as you would work at planning to prepare the ground. Make a plan where you're going to make the contacts, just like you would make a plan to where you will put the garden, and when you will work on the garden throughout your daily routine. The key to a successful business is making a plan each day. Decide what you feel you need to do personally first, and then decide where you will find time to include the business activities. There is time for both. Think about children. They are in school all day, but we still expect them to have time for family, religious activities, and homework. We involve them in social and extra activities too, such as sports, piano lessons. We want them to have it all. You too can have it all. Everything important in your life can be accomplished, each day with a plan. We all have lots of choices when it comes to how we spend our time. Your business will not keep you from enjoying your life. However, we tend to spend a lot of time thinking about our businesses, and that causes us to feel like there is more time being spent on our businesses. Unfortunately, there are not too many people who get paid for just thinking about work. Start tomorrow with a plan incorporating structured flexibility as a part of your daily routine. You can do everything you need to and want to, once you decide that the things you choose or need to do are important. I can, and I will, develop systems to help me balance my business and my personal life.
Sometimes people are concerned about how their business might affect their family. Yet you teach people how to really make their family a part of their business so that everyone in the family feels happy and successful. Can you tell our listeners how they can do this?
The key again is to have a plan, as I said before, so that you make your business contacts and have happy children and spouses too. I believe that the key to success is not working hours at a business, but instead to work contacts each day. It is important to make those 5 to 10 contacts a day. If you have young children or are recruiting people with young children, there is a way to have both happy children and a successful business day making contacts. Phone time is fun time is the key. Plan something for your children to do while you make a full-service contact. Have your children right there with you. Don't send them off to another room or area. Instead, explain to them, Mom is going to make an important call while you do something special. They will be excited if you sound excited about the activity they will be doing. Then make 1 or 2 completed contacts at the most. Hang up the phone and say, "Great job." Give them lots of praise and hugs. Ask them what would they like to do with you now. Spend some time with them. That is the important part of success with phone time is fun time. Read them a book. Color with them. Take a walk. They will learn to love the times you get on the phone because they'll be looking forward to what will be happening during the process and definitely after you hang up. The key is not to be on the phone for more than 10 minutes. We would never expect our children to do their own on-site childcare. Would you ever say to a child, "I'm sorry I have to go to the office, but I'll be back in 30 minutes. Just sit here." We would never do that. This is the advantage of working from home. We can be there to provide everything for our children while they're right there working alongside us with their activity. We can be working too. Now keep in mind how good your children will be feeling when you say to them after a phone call, "Great job," and showering them with those hugs and kisses. And I know they'll love to be spending that time with you after that call. You will feel great that you have completed your contacts and at the same time are spending time with your children. Keep in mind that the key to a successful home-based business is that you're able to do this right alongside your family. It might take you all day to make the contacts, but that's okay, because it's all about spending all day doing other important activities for your children and family as well. Let them be the fuel for you making contacts, knowing how great you will feel and they will feel that you're there for them and at the same time growing a successful business which can help your family. I often hear that people get frustrated that they cannot always work on their businesses the way they want to. Sometimes I hear from people that they feel like all they do is work on their businesses, or they feel guilty when they are not working on their businesses because they are enjoying family time. The good news is you can have the kind of day you want every day, with plenty of family time and time to work on building your business. This happens when you make a plan and are committed to the plan. I never wanted to work a certain amount of hours because I wanted to be free to do something with my kids at a moment's notice or make plans with friends and family. I felt for me that I would lose the flexibility I wanted if I made a commitment to working a certain amount of hours each day. I decided to make a plan instead as to the number of contacts and selling events I wanted to do each day and week. Basing my plan on making contacts always offered me so much flexibility. I believe that you can be extremely successful making 5 to 10 contacts a day and doing 4 to 8 selling events every month as you build your team. You can do a lot of different things each day if you even make 1 contact an hour. The contacts do not have to be made only by phone. You can be at a park, at a mall, at the library with your children. It means simply taking 5 minutes an hour to share about your business and then having all the rest of your time to focus on your family. I made at least 10 contacts because of my own personal goals when I was building my business. Even 5 contacts each day will make a difference in your business. Contacts are so important to the growth of your business. We have true flexibility. Again, let me remind you not to flex yourself out of business. Commitment to planning a day with fun family time and contacts for your business will lead to lots of happiness, which will lead to you doing more sharing. Why wouldn't you want to share a good thing? I can make a plan to get everything accomplished personally and professionally. I will feel so much better with a plan instead of feeling guilty, wishing that I could get everything completed.
Well, Ilene, you have experienced many changes over time in your personal life and in your business. even a divorce. Many people see change as a scary, frightening, and negative thing. How do you think of change? How do you respond to it?
We are always experiencing changes, many happy and positive, some challenging, and some sad. Our attitudes are so important as we experience change. Another way to look at a change is to see it as a new experience. That sounds more positive. My baby, Michael, who is 19, started college this year. That was certainly an experience filled with emotion. Wow, where did the time go? We never really know how we feel about changes. We cannot always even anticipate what changes and experiences will occur in our lives. We just need to know that we can and we will do our best to do what we need to do as we experience changes. We need to focus on everything that is important in our lives and not just focus on the change or experience we are having. When we are involved in happy changes like new babies, moves, holidays, we still need to focus on our other responsibilities. And keep in mind, we need to approach our business the same way in challenging times as well. If you were a teacher and going through a divorce, you certainly wouldn't ask for a month off from the principal. When you have a home-based business, the tendency is to let any change affect how you approach your business. We need to believe that we can do everything we should do for our businesses as change and experiences occur. I can, and I will, approach the changes I go through in a positive way.
Ilene, there are so many benefits to having one's own business, not the least of which is the ability to be your own boss. Just how do you boss yourself to ensure you get the job done?
Here are some questions you should ask of yourself every day. Is it time for a raise or promotion? Are you being a good boss? Are you a fair boss? Do you expect of yourself what you know you would of others? Let's find out how you are doing as your own boss. As a result of working today, should you be giving yourself a raise, or should you be calling yourself into the office to talk about what you could have done differently to be even a better boss, a better employee, or really successful at building your own business? Remember, being our own boss does not give us permission to allow ourselves off the hook from doing things we do not feel like doing or things that are uncomfortable to us. We would always want employees to be putting forth their best effort at all time and not giving us excuses. We would never expect an employee to say, "I can't." We would expect them to say, "How can I?" Have you ever thought, "I can't share"? There's a big difference in saying "I can't" versus "I'm choosing not to." Why would we ever choose not to share? We expect young children to do that. We know we have something to offer everyone, unless you do not believe in equal opportunity. It's important for you to be asking as the boss, how can I learn to feel comfortable and do the sharing I need to be doing? We know that a successful business is not built on people we know today, but it's built on the people we will meet and the referrals we will get. As a boss, are you expecting yourself to meet new people each week? And are you out there sharing? Are you willing to be uncomfortable when working on new skills in order to become comfortable and experienced in those skills? Ask them that. Would you enjoy helping others by sharing that a successful business is something that can be achieved through work and commitment? Find out if they're all about helping others. If, in the coaching process, you are finding that the suggestions you make to help them are being received with a lot of buts or I can'ts, then say to them that it sounds like they have made a choice that your suggestions won't work. And if that's the case, they're right. This is also something to evaluate yourself. Do you use the words I can't and but a lot? Keep in mind, to be a good coach, all you have to think is, I can and I will become a good coach by seeing what kind of player each person wants to be.
Well, Ilene, so far we have talked about sharing on the phone and in person. Isn't there a specific invitation with certain language to invite everyone at selling events to become a part of your business?
At my selling events, I always wanted to be sure I included everyone as I painted pictures about how this business could fit into anyone's lifestyle. I'd like to share that introduction with you now. I would begin by saying, tonight, I want to invite each and every one of you to think about joining me in starting a home-based business. I know many of you are stay-at-home parents, and you might be thinking, why would I want to add a business to my already crazy, hectic life? Would you enjoy having a business that you could do right alongside your family and activities, and at the same time be adding income to the family budget? I know some of you work full-time and you might be thinking, why would I want to add a business to my already hectic life with my full-time career? Would you enjoy having your own business where you get to be the boss and make all the decisions after having worked for someone all day who did that for you? I know some of you are retired or just approaching retirement age, and you might think, why would I want to work after having worked all these years? Would you enjoy having a business where you'd have plenty of time to do all the things you've been waiting to do, and extra income to help you do them, and at the same time continue to grow personally and professionally? I know some of you are just becoming familiar with our products tonight, and I do feel we could really use some help introducing our products to others. There's so many people who haven't heard of us. This can fit into anyone's lifestyle, so I do hope you'll think about joining me. But now for the reason you're here. Let's talk about our products. While you were listening to my invitation, did you feel invited? It is time to really commit to inviting everyone. This profession can fit into anyone's lifestyle. Success from helping others is the best feeling and the most rewarding way to enjoy a profession. Visit my website at www.ilenemeckley.com. That's spelled ILENEMECKLEY. Print off these words so that you can practice them and become fluent. Before your next selling presentation, say to yourself, I will be inviting everyone to join me. I can learn an introduction to include everyone. I can be sure that equal opportunity is my philosophy. I will be sure to include everyone and let them make their own decision.
Ilene, after you used the introduction at the party that night, is there anything else that you did to make sure people felt invited?
Actually, the day after the party, I really like to develop a customer service relationship by placing a call to them. Here are some of the words I would use on that call. I would call them up and thank them for attending the party last night, and then I would say, one of my focuses in my business is customer service, and I'm inclined to see how I can help you in the future. You heard me talk about how this business can fit into anyone's lifestyle last night. Have you ever given any thought to doing something like this alongside your family and activities to earn income? If they say no, I'm not interested in that. I just say thanks so much for being honest with me. I'm so glad you felt you could be. I want them to feel comfortable with their response to me. Then I say, the other service I wanted to talk to you about is our hostess program. Then I ask them, would you like to know what we're doing for our hostesses this month? Sometimes they'll have a response like, well, I'd love to have one of these parties, but you know my house is a mess. Then I try to paint a picture. I would say, do you know what I have found out? Is that our adult friends are not like our children's friends. We can clean up just one room in the house, and our adult friends will not tend to roam off around the rest of the house like our children's friends will. Sometimes they laugh and they say, you know what? Yes, I can have it. Sometimes I'll hear things like, oh, I'd like to have one of those, but, I think your items are just a little bit too expensive. I certainly am not trying, is what you're saying when you say I can't. Saying I can is saying I certainly am now. Everyone loves to be asked. No one likes to be harassed. Every customer service contact is a success if your focus is really on sharing and not the result. A yes or a no response from someone is just a choice. Focus on customer service, which is deserved by everyone, instead of pre-selective sharing, which always leaves someone or something out. Sharing is never pushy. How you handle their response is what can become pushy. Flexibility is a choice of when to work, not if to work. Structured flexibility allows you to accomplish everything, both personally and professionally, all in a day. It is perfectly okay for people to say no to me when I share, but it is not okay not to share because someone might say no. Saying you believe in equal opportunity and actually believing in it is what will really lead to different sharing behaviors. Believing in it means you will never prejudge and you will offer your business opportunity to everyone. Everyone is willing to show up when it's time to get a paycheck. Are you willing to do the work to earn that paycheck? Is a challenge you are having in your business a high-class problem, one you're experiencing because your business is growing? I hope so. These thoughts will contribute to your language of success. Please keep in mind that what you think will lead to the actions you take.
Thank you for listening to this tape, I Can, I Will, The Language of Success, one of Eileen's practical How Do I Do It tapes. If you would like information about ordering Eileen's other tapes and books, or would like Eileen to speak in your area or at your convention, please contact us at our website, www.eileenmeckley.com. That is www.ilenemeckley.com, or call 1-800-383-2039.